Today we are in Berkeley, California. We're here to shoot a behind-the-scenes tour of the women's gymnastics team. Cal Women's Gymnastics over the past 5 years has had a historic rise to success, and now they're amongst a top 5 team vying for an NCAA championship this year. I got to sit down with their senior captain, Elise Byun, who shared a behind-the-scenes tour with me of their practice facility. We checked out one of their meets against Stanford, their rivals, and we're going to do a sit-down interview with her to talk a little bit about what Cal Women's Gymnastics means to her and how you can become a D1 gymnast. Without further ado, let's get into the video. A huge shout out to Cal Women's Gymnastics. Go Bears, let's go.
Hi everyone, my name is Elise Byun and I'm a senior here on the women's gymnastics team at Cal, and I can't wait to show you our facility today. Come along. So this is kind of entering our facility. Our training room is going to be in there where we'll get taped and do our morning treatments before practice. And we'll come this way. And this is where we usually put all our stuff. My amazing teammate eMjae Frazier hanging out with me today, but this is where we kind of put all our stuff before going actually into the gym, where we'll go now. So this is kind of when you enter the facility. We share our gym with our men's gymnastics team, so we have a couple of the men's that come in over here. So we don't usually go over there, but yeah, this is our floor, and then we'll have a tumble strip rod for like less pounding on our bodies that go to a little resi over there, so soft landings. And then we have a bunch of beams over here, but yeah, the floor mostly like one kind of layer. Something really exciting is we are getting our gym redone starting May 1st. I think something special about this program, and Justin and Liz kind of say it all the time, is adaptability. It's one of our core values, and sometimes, you know, our facility might not look the best, but it's what you make of it. And I think especially this team and our coaches especially, starting from this program like 10 years ago, we weren't the best, and Justin Liz has really fostered a culture of excellence and growth, and now entering NCAAs, we're a top 3 program, which is really exciting. And with a new facility, it's only going to get better, and it's really exciting for recruits and the next legacy of Cal Gymnastics.
Okay, so we are on the floor here. As you can see, it's really big. But for me, I usually, for my floor routine, I'll go up on the strip and tumble on soft because like I do double flipping, so it's easier on my body to just go up on top and do my double layouts to a softer landing and then do my last pass to a softer landing. And I just pick up my music and my dance like on the floor, so I'm still using it, but I tumble up there. And then I got my floor routine because like Liz, she'll choreograph our routine, she'll choreograph our like little parts of it, and she always comes up with our music too. Like she helps with like music choreography. She tells us like kind of what our cuts want to be and like what she thinks would like be best for us there. And then she also helps us like construct our routines for that as well. And then we just add our own little personality to it.
So our tumble track, also really nice, goes into soft. So again, protects our body. A big part of tumble track is just getting timing and mostly air awareness while also keeping the numbers low and body and all that stress a little light. But yeah, here are 2 bar sets. Something that's great about these bar sets is, again, these kind of go to hard landings. So in postseason and honestly just regular season meets, getting into those landings and kind of finding those landings are going to kind of differentiate teams just in terms of tense. So it's great that we're able to do hard landings here. And then if you look over here, we have a bunch of beams. Same kind of deal, going to a hard kind of surface and hard landing. But it's cool where we have like branding of Cal on the beams, and we have a lot of beams, which is nice. 2 low beams here. And again, something that's pretty special is that these low beams for postseason, Liz will put a low beam on 2 blocks. So it's a little bouncier, like a podium training or podium meet at these postseason meets. So again, great addition to this new renovated gym is having all the beams already going to be up on podium. So it's a little more, less time to readjust to when we go to these meets. In terms of like crafting that bar routine, I think college gymnastics is pretty special, where you're doing your routines all throughout your club gymnastics career. So it doesn't change too much when you come to college. But I think something special about the Cal Gymnastics program is we're training upgrades constantly, and it's keeping gymnastics light and fun. It's not every day is going to look the same. And I think our coaches especially love to have us play with skills. Like NJ has about like 20 different bar skills she can do. And in the summer, especially with training, you'll connect all these skills and do all this stuff. Like NJ can whip out her elite bar routine from when she was doing that when she was like a 16-year-old, 15-year-old. So it's fun that this program and the training plan kind of keeps it light and it keeps it interesting. But yeah, it definitely takes a while to hone in on those bar routines, especially. I think in college gymnastics, it's more execution than difficulty. And I think MJ has learned that more than anything is how do you just perfect that base bar routine, and she does a great job doing it. She'll stick that landing. So it's kind of special where even if, let's say I only do one event and MJ does 4, I will train 4 events despite only maybe competing 1 or 2. That's kind of how it works here. They like to keep everyone in shape for all 4 events to add to that depth. And then we'll come up here to the vaults. So again, this podium kind of aspect. Yeah, this is kind of our vault. We only have 1 vault table, but I like that. More chit-chat on here. Yeah, we have a tiny team. We do have a small team. This is kind of the vault setup. So this was left over from today's training. But you'll see we have a base mat here that covers the pit. That usually stays there, and then a harder kind of base mat to get that landing that kind of mimics an actual meet. And then our 400 here with the lines if we were to move this to make sure that you're staying within those guardrails, because if you go outside those white lines, you'll get a deduction. And then this is kind of like a huge cloud mat that, again, protects your body. You can over-rotate on it and it doesn't hurt at all. So this is kind of our typical setup. And then depending on what Justin kind of wants the vault group to really hit, he'll change it around the either height or the squishiness, hardness of it, but kind of adapting that landing to what is set up. And then up here, we also have a pit bar without a low bar, and then a whole nother set of bars over there. And again, men's gymnastics, they have rings going into the pit. So usually up here, it's you're learning new dismounts or releases, because again, it's really squishy and soft, so you won't hurt yourself at all. But yeah, I think a hot take in gymnastics is gymnasts don't really actually like the pit. Peeing to get out of the pit, and it's gross. Yeah, it's actually not up.
At the 2024 NCAA Championships, the Golden Bears placed second in the entire country, beating legacy gymnastics programs like Oklahoma and Utah, only to fall short a couple points to the LSU Tigers. The Golden Bears have year after year moved up from their preseason ranking, only continuing to show that they're building something special in Berkeley. It's clear that the Golden Bears are definitely building towards a bright future, which could lead to them becoming a gymnastics powerhouse. With the new facilities, young coaches, and top recruits in the pipeline, the Golden Bears are due for a big win. Both Elise and eMjae performed incredibly well at NCAAs, with eMjae Frazier scoring a 9.9 or better in all 4 of her rotations. With such success this season, the Golden Bears are early preseason favorites to take it all next year, so the question remains, who's going to stop them? But don't take my word for it. Here's what eMjae and Elise had to say about what makes the Golden Bears so special. To all young high school gym athletes out there, what's your recruiting advice for them, and what was your process like?
I think in terms of our recruiting process, it was two very, very different ones. I'll share first, I guess, about my recruiting process. So before the rules changed of when recruiting could happen, I committed before this rule change. So I committed my freshman or sophomore year of high school. And in terms of that timeline, I was late. Andy and Gabby committed in 8th grade. Kennedy committed freshman year. It was just, I was technically late. So I felt a little rushed and scared and anxious about when I would commit. But Cal was always my dream school. I'm from the Bay Area and I always wanted to stay in the Bay Area for college. But my freshman year of high school it's kind of like peak recruiting season, and it was for me. That was my first year of level 10, and I broke my ankle, had to have surgery, so I was out that entire season. And I remember I was like coming back from that injury and I was doing well. I was getting back skills and upgrading skills, and I remember my coach texted me, was like, Justin wants to like get on a call with you, like, are you free? I was like, oh yeah, sure. I like talked to Justin, all this stuff, and he offers me a spot, and I committed on the spot. I like didn't really need to think about it. Cal was my dream school, and I knew girls on the team already, and I knew that culture, and I knew I wanted to be a part of it. So for myself, it was a pretty easy decision. But yeah, in terms of advice, I think definitely putting yourself out there. I think everyone has that dream school, and I think in terms of how to get there, it might be different for other people, but I think with enough hard work and determination, I truly believe you can always get yourself there. And my route to Cal was not conventional, and my time here at Cal was not conventional, and it's worked out, and it's been so enriching. So I think that would be my greatest piece of advice.
I get if this rule change, I'm sure it allows you to commit earlier, take trips earlier and stuff like that.
So
later.
Yeah, now the rule change is everything's pushed later.
Oh, interesting. So it's a little the revert.
Yeah, so junior year, because I think especially in our sport, like 7th graders started committing 8th graders, and by then a lot of them actually didn't even make it to college. They burnt out, they quit. So then you would have to fill roster spots by the end when it's like signing day and all that stuff. So they pushed it back later. So eMjae was part of that later kind of slash.
So I think the rules changed when I was in 9th grade. So like the earliest I think was like 8th grade. But like my sister committed her sophomore year of high school. So I was like, okay, at least want to wait until I'm in like 10th grade before I commit. Because like I already was like, it's a little. But then the rules changed and I was like rushing to try and like commit somewhere. And then it ended up like being like, I'm just going to wait, which I'm glad it did because I would not have been here. And then so you have to commit your summer into junior year, so you're not allowed to commit until then, but like you can keep in touch with coaches, but they can't respond to you, so you literally just don't know like what you're doing. But also COVID kind of hit, so for me it was kind of like once I went into my junior year, it's like, okay, well I can reach out to people, they can reach out to me, but I can't go visit, which was a big thing for me. Like I wanted to make sure I saw the campuses, met like the people, like I wanted to go on officials, but it was really hard for me to do that because of COVID. But I already knew like from Zoom calls and kind of just like who I knew was on the team already, like that I really wanted to come to Cal. And the only thing left was me for like to visit because again, like Elise said, the culture and like the girls, it kind of just was like, I felt like I was getting what was being showed to be. And when I finally came on the visit, I got to like see the campus and like got a feel for the culture a little bit better.
Met her on her visit first up.
You did. It was like my own unofficial visit, and a very big part of a reason I committed here. Before I came to college, I did like a little deal with like Silvio P, which is a Leo company, and I just like pried on their Leos, did like a photo shoot with them, and it was really cool to just like get your feet out there because now like you can actually like get something like for your image. And it's funny because like I think like on our team, like a lot of people do it as a job, and like we kind of do it like when we're free or like something that interests us. And it's like, that's actually another way you can actually make a living right now in college if you start doing it right and you started to get time. Like last summer, I was just enjoying college, just doing finished season. And then I ended up doing like the UC Berkeley like official commercial.
So you'll see like eMjae flipping in this UC Berkeley commercial. They're like students in labs, and then eMjae like flipping off bars.
Yeah, so it's like just something here where you like it's like, oh, okay, just for my image you can make some money, and it's like really cool because like like once you put yourself out there and you just enjoy your sport and who you are and people get to see who you are, you can like make money out of that. And it's like really cool because like you are working hard. You can't get it for your gymnastics, but what you've created from your gymnastics and like what people see you as, like your own persona, will help you with that. So
yeah, and I think NIL in terms of gymnastics growth, I think is great. I think gymnastics, it's kind of different from obviously like let's say the Caitlin Clark effect. Like she's changed women's basketball, now is about to change to WNBA. In terms of like Livy Dunn, she's exposed gymnastics to a whole different fan base, which is awesome. LSU sells out their crowd. They bring in those fans and that energy and electric just vibe to gymnastics. And whether or not you like what she's doing, you can't help but like celebrate the growth of gymnastics. And I think that in itself is awesome. And I think that's the power of NIL, especially for women's sports and Olympic sports, is how do you grow your brand, but also further than that, like how do you grow your sport and the audience around it. Thanks for coming along with us on a little tour of our facility. See ya.
go Bears.